Unit 6, Lesson 2, Situation and Solution Equations for Multiplication and Division. The book asks us to use this rectangular method. We've done that before. You're welcome to use it or just write it out as equations. Because we don't have a homework and remembering book, we're going to try doing the homework and remembering page or the homework page as the lesson, so just take notes. And then when you come to class, we'll use the SAB as the work that we do in class. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so here's our equation. We have a floor that's shaped like a rectangle. It has a width of 9.5 feet, an area of 114 feet. We don't know the other length. We want to find that out. So if we did a solution equation, it would be 9.5 times n equals 114. When we go to solve that, we would do 114 divided by 9.5 equals n. 114 divided by 9.5, move your decimal over one space, add a 0 in. So now we're doing 1,140 divided by 95. 95 goes into 114 one time. Okay, when you subtract out 114 minus 95, you get 19. Bring down my 0. 95 into 190, it goes twice and it's even. Okay. So I found out n equals 12 feet. Okay, let's try another one. What if we have it with a fraction? That gets more complicated. A pastry chef divided a half-a-pound block of cream cheese into 4 identical pieces. What was the weight of each piece? So this is the representation over here of the situation equation, and a solution equation then would change that. For your solution equation, you would have 1/2 divided by 4. Okay, well, when we do that, we would actually do 1/2 times 1/4, or 1/2 divided by 4/1 and cross multiply. Either way is correct. Here we flipped it. We used the flip it method. Remember, 4 has to be put over 1 in order to still say 4. This no longer says 4. We can do that because we're going to flip and multiply. This one still says 4. So what we would actually do, cross multiply, right? Get a 1 here, cross multiply, bring it down, get 8 here. Okay, if we just multiply straight across, we would get 1/8. Either way. You could prove this by going 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8, which then equals 4/8, which is equal to 1/2. So we know we've done it correctly. Okay, so this next one, we have a spectator for a football game. We've got bleachers, one side of the field. Altogether, the bleachers seat 1,152 spectators. There are 16 rows of equal length. How many spectators could be seated? So as you work this, what you would actually do, your solution equation would be 1,152 divided by 16 equals spectators, right? Your situation equation in this one would have been S equals 16 times, S times 16 equals 1,152. Okay, so now when you go to solve it, you're going to actually do a division equation out here on the side, and you're going to need to show your work. Okay, I'll give you time here in a little bit to pause it because I'm going to do this other one, and then I'll have you pause and actually come back up and finish this equation and check your answer. So how many periods of time in each 1/3 of an hour does an 8-hour period have? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 8 and we're going to divide that by 1/3. Okay, so what we actually end up doing is saying 8/1, because that leaves it as 8 whole, times 3/1, or you could have cross multiplied. 8 times 3 then is 24, so you would end up with 24/1. 24/1 is 24 whole, so 24 periods. Okay, we have an area of a rectangular ceiling. I already have it drawn out over here for you. Go ahead and draw it out. The whole area is 130.5 feet squared. The length is 14.5 feet, and we want to know the width. So you could say width times 14.5 equals 130.5. But what we want to actually end up doing to solve is taking 130 and a half and dividing it by 14 and a half. Move your decimal over one spot, okay? At this point, I'd like you guys to pause the video, solve this, and solve the one above, and then come back and check your answers. So solve number 1 and number 3, and then come back and check your answers. Welcome back. You guys should have gotten 72 spectators. And down here, you should have gotten 9 feet when you finish dividing out, okay? Sorbet is a frozen dessert often made from fruit. How many portions weighing 1/10 of a kilogram can a French chef create if he's got 3 kilograms? So what I would do is N equals 3 divided by 1/10, right? I'm breaking it up into tenths. Then when I do my solution, I'm going to do 3 over 1 times 10 over 1 because I flipped it. Okay, or I can cross multiply, should get 30 servings. The family room in Zach's floor has a rectangular measure of 6.5 feet by 9.5 feet. The area of the floor is a rectangular measure of 10 feet by 12 feet. What's the area that's not covered by the rug? This is a multi-step problem. They're asking what's not covered. How you would solve this: 10 times 12 minus 6.5 times 9. Okay, 10 times 12 should be mental math, right? 120 minus, now you're going to have to work this out. So if you need to pause the video to do so, please do that. Okay, 6.5 times 9. Okay, okay, welcome back. 6.5 times 9 is 58.5. So now I've got 120 minus 58.5. Okay, 120 minus 58.5. Pause the video, solve that out, come back and check. All right, welcome back. You should have gotten 61.5 square feet. Okay. We have a cargo van carrying 20 identical steel cylinders. Each cylinder contains compressed oxygen. Altogether, the cylinders weigh half a ton. What is the weight of one cylinder? So what we're going to do is we're going to take half a ton, because that's our total weight, and we're going to divide that by 20. Remember, when we divide and we're using fractions, we can flip it and multiply, or we can cross multiply. When we have a whole number, we put it over 1. So this, like saying this whole number is over 1. Now I can flip it and multiply. 1/2 times 1 over 20. Multiply straight across, I get 1/40th of a ton. Right, that's what one cylinder weighs. Now, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. In pounds, what's the weight of each cylinder? So I'm going to take 2,000 and I'm going to multiply it by 1/40th. 2,000 can be written as a fraction, put it over 1, and then multiply straight across. Okay, simplify, reduce before you do it if you want. I think that sometimes is easier. If I was going to simplify this one, I'd cross this 0 off, I'd cross this 0 off, and then I would look at 204. 2 goes into both of them. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 200 100 times. Oh, I can simplify more. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 150. Multiply straight across, I actually get 50 pounds. All right, we'll see you in class.